Okay, I've had a chance to work on your design a little bit, and it was pretty easy. If it was my house, this is what I'd probably do. Picture's worth 1,000 words, but I'm going to work around the kitchen so you understand what I'm doing. Starting over here, we have these cabinets are 12 inches deep. So you have 12-inch deep storage in these two cabinets. To give this a nicer look, I've flushed the toe kick. That's what they call here, a flush toe kick. Normally you would see a little notch right here, but I've given it the more furniture look and flushed the toe kick. Over here, these have a standard toe kick over here. This cabinet here has a drawer and two doors, and behind it will be roll-out trays, two of them, one on top of each other. Here is a super lazy Susan with a shelf that spins independently, and it kind of looks like that. Actually, I'll draw a better one. Kind of looks like that. And then, of course, it spins either way. Independently, it's on a fixed shelf. So this is probably the best thing for a base cabinet. And then, up here is a wall cabinet. A diagonal wall cabinet. Another wall cabinet. So, these three cabinets are slightly special. They might not look anything different, but it's kind of hard to see. But you can see this is the side of the door, and there's a little bit of a wood space right here. That's called an extended rail. You don't lose the storage, but it is actually kind of like a built-in filler. But again, you don't lose the storage. The reason why I'm mentioning this, I've got that extended rail here, I have another one here. The reason why I'm doing extended rails is because it gives this door more swinging room so it doesn't hit this microwave, and it doesn't hit this knob right here, and then this knob doesn't hit this knob. So it's kind of a design, a functional feature that I've added to the cabinetry worth mentioning. Bank of 4 drawers here. This is an excellent spot for a pull-out trash. This is a double pull-out trash, so you have room for recycling and the trash. This has a working drawer on top, and then the trash pulls out. So your dishes would go here, you'd scrape them in the trash, you'd rinse them off in the sink, and then they go in the dishwasher. So it's a nice progress there. Then, because it's an older house, you don't have to do it, but because it's an older house and kind of be a nice focal point, I've got a farmer's sink cabinet right here. Now, farmer's sinks are on the pricey side. You might be able to find one for $800. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But this is a specific cabinet for a farmer's sink. If you go with a different option, like just an undermount sink, then I would have to change this cabinet. We have a dishwasher, bank of 4 drawers again. This is where all your knives and forks will go. Over here, this is where all the your cooking tools will go. Then I have a refrigerator panel running from the top of the cabinets all the way down to the floor. Then I have a refrigerator wall cabinet right here. Then of course the wall is right here. So this is set up for a countertop depth refrigerator. I'll show you it. Show you the design without any color. So you can see the panel there. You can see the extended rail, and another one over here, extended rail. Actually, I have another one right here, so this door can swing open without hitting the side of this cabinet. So I chose a door style that I think you're gonna like. It looks like this. Very simple door style. I call this a shaker door style. And this happens, I happen to have one in the in my office in a natural, this is a natural finish, and it's on alder wood, which is one of the woods that I can get what they call rustic. When it's rustic, they're referring to these knots right here. Knots. So those knots are very random, but this is an example of a rustic shaker door. And then I worked up some pricing. I used a company called Norcraft. It's a semi-custom company. It's middle of the road, so it's not the most expensive I offer, but it's a good value. I will link to a video I made showing the construction of this cabinet, but I think you'd be happy with it. And I'll obviously have the cabinet in my office, my shop. I can show it to you. But the cabinetry, and this is just, these figures are just for planning purposes, but it gives you a pretty good idea where you're going to be. The cabinetry is $91.50 if I didn't change any parts or pieces in the design. If you chose a mid-range quartz and you had 41 square feet of countertop, you're looking around $3,500. Remove and dispose of existing countertop and cabinetry. And then you had some brick on the walls that we need to remove. That's what this figure would probably cover. And then if I have to fix the sheetrock, I threw a figure out for fixing the sheetrock. Here's the cabinet install. And then I threw a couple of rough figures for plumbing and electrical. Now you might spend more, you might spend less on all these figures, depending on what your final selections are. But if you add all those up, I come up with $17,600. So this is for just for planning purposes only. Everybody's anxious to find out what things cost, and that's the intent of this part of the explanation. But this is the design I've come up with, and you might have some tweaks you'd like to do, or you might have some questions. But it's a start in the right direction, and it will probably help you decide what you'd want to do, whether you want to try and save the existing cabinets, or some of them, or go with a new kitchen.